What is up, guys? Happy Sunday. My name is Kyle. We are going to be doing it's our final Packers full 7 round mock draft. We've done a total of 7 of them so far. This is 8.0. And as I record this, April 21st, it's Sunday. The draft is just a few days away. I'm super pumped. If you guys want to check out some of my previous drafts, I've been doing them since about February, and we're going to try and dial in our best one today for this. We're going to be using PFF's mock draft simulator. And hey, if you guys are new to my channel, this is primarily a fantasy football channel, but my team is the Packers, and we've done a lot of mocks here. And at this point, I like certain players in certain areas of the draft, and we're gonna run the simulator and see what pops up again. But before we get into that, let's just look over the depth chart real quick and just share my thoughts on what we think we need. Receiver, we're feeling pretty good there. Watson, Romeo Dobbs, Jaden Reed, Dontavian Wicks is a really good core four. Malik Heath, Bo Melton at the 5 and 6 spots, Samari Toure at number 7. We can maybe add a guy to compete with those guys, but that wouldn't maybe be till later. If someone were to fall and, the opportunity presented it, I wouldn't be, who knows? Maybe we grab someone in the 3rd round. I don't know. Because who knows, Christian Watson, man, he hasn't been able to stay healthy. We're gonna have guys coming up on rookie deals in the next year or two. So if a good player falls at receiver, we'll think about it. Now, offensive line, I just want to preface last year, man, those last 5 games, we saw Aaron Jones run for 100 yards in 5 straight games. Jordan Love was sacked twice, and none of those came in the playoffs. So this offensive line is, I think, better than people give it credit for. Rasheed Walker can hold down the left tackle spot, but we do need to bring in someone that can compete with him for that spot. We did sign Andre Dillard, but he really hasn't been a thing the last few years. So, as much as I'm seeing these left tackle 1st round mocks, I don't know if it's a priority. Maybe later in the draft. Elgton Jenkins locked in at left guard. Josh Myers, it's his last year of this deal. Maybe we look at upgrading the center position. I think I'm open to that. And then obviously losing John Runyon at the right guard spot. This is probably our only biggest need. It's our biggest only need on offense here. So I want a new starting right guard. I think Zach Tom is a fantastic right tackle. But our depth is thin here. We didn't draft a single offensive lineman last year in the draft. I'm thinking we're doing at least 3, if not 4, in this year's draft class. Luke Musgrave, Tucker Kraft, we love those 2 guys at tight end. Tyler Davis and some special teams guys, that's fine. Love and Clifford, we like that. At running back, you have Josh Jacobs, but man, he's only a 1-year kind of prove-it deal. We don't really have much committed to him in the future. So if they see a running back that they like in the 3rd round, maybe go ahead and do that. AJ Dillon, I think, is just a body at this point. I would like to bring in someone that can add some electricity like Aaron Jones did. So Josh Jacobs is the Thunder. Need a little bit of lightning sprinkled into there. And that's the offensive evaluation. On defense, you have edge rushers here. Rashawn Gary, Lucas Van Ness, Preston Smith. I like that top 3, but Preston Smith's probably not part of the future plans here. Rashawn Gary is it's a full year removed from his injury. I think he's going to be better this year, but we're not really guaranteed a stud with Rashawn Gary. And Lucas Van Ness, we saw him come along last year. I'm looking for him to take another leap here, but I do think we need a 3rd edge rusher for the future that can come in and compete with Gary and Van Ness. And Nambari, of course, got hurt. He's not going to play this year. Interior defensive linemen, Kenny Clark, Devontae Wyatt. I like that duo. TJ Slayton, Carl Brooks is there. We can maybe add a guy to compete with these guys. Kenny Clark's not getting any younger. We might need to find a replacement for him pretty soon. So if you draft a guy in the 1st or 2nd round to kind of be the number 3 there, I think that could be okay. Linebacker, shifting to this new defense that we're going to be going to, we need a stud linebacker. I don't know if McDuffie is going to be the middle linebacker. He might be able to play that. And then Quay Walker on the outside. We do need another speed linebacker on the outside, and probably need some more depth here, honestly. We only have 2 legit linebackers on the depth chart right now. At cornerback, you got Stokes, Jair, Nixon, Valentine, and Valentine. I personally want to bring in a 3rd cornerback here that I think, could either play slot, he could play outside. Nothing's guaranteed with Stokes and Alexander. So I think upgrading at the cornerback position will be a priority here, especially with Jeff Hafley's background being secondary. I think that's a good move. You brought in Xavier McKinnon to be the strong safety here. I think free safety, we can get someone that can come in and compete. But it sounds like we might be playing a lot of single high safety this year. But there you go. Those are my thoughts on the Packers depth chart. And then I was just kind of poking around at what the Packers have done in their last few drafts and just looking at, who we take in the 1st round. And it's usually a primo position. So last year was edge rusher Van Ness. The year before was Quay Walker, linebacker. At cornerback, Eric Stokes. Quarterback, Jordan Love. Edge rusher, Rashawn Gary. Cornerback, Jair Alexander. Kevin King, cornerback. Kenny Clark, defensive tackle. Demarius Randall was a safety hybrid corner. Clinton Dix, another safety. Dayton Jones, a defensive end edge rusher. Nick Perry, another edge rusher. You got to go back all the way to 2011 to find an offensive tackle, Brian Balaga, things like that. So the Packers look for, meat and potatoes type picks in that first round. So let's get into it. I'm taking the Packers here, 7 rounds. We're going to leave these settings as is, and let's see what happens here. First round is about to begin. Here we go. And whoa. So we're on the board here, and when I was running these before I started the video, I kept getting Cooper DeJean to fall to us. I do think he is a legit prospect on the Packers board, that if he's there, he's probably a Packer. I think Graham Barton's another one because he can come in and just plug in that right guard spot right away, and we're pretty happy for the next 4 or 5 years. So we'll see. Those would be my priority guys. My last mock I did Latu, and I got a little bit of flack from him in his injury concerns, but he's a really good player on paper. So as we are on the board here, this is kind of like the Packers' worst case scenario. Nothing really sticks out to me here. Newton, Mitchell, Wiggins, McKinstry, Jackson Powers Johnson, who can play right guard or center for us, Troy Franklin, Peyton Wilson. I'm torn here. I really don't like this spot. If I wanted to look at the trade options, we can trade back with the Patriots. The next pick is 34. I don't know if I want to trade out that far. That's kind of a lot. So, if we're kind of stuck to looking at the board here, I've done a few mocks taking Newton. I haven't taken Wiggins in a mock yet, and I really do like Wiggins. He's basically a 2.5-year starter from Clemson, 6'8", 185. He's a bit small, but he's very, very fast. He got hurt at the draft combine, but I think he's going to be okay. He has the tools of a first-round high-impact corner. His athleticism will never be in question, nor will his competitiveness. Those two characteristics can yield a long-term standing player. So, I think this could be interesting. His man coverage grade is pretty strong here. His zone coverage grade as well. Not a big help in the run, but his overall coverage skills are near elite. So I think he's an interesting player. I've seen a lot of Kool-Aid McKinstry getting mocked to us. He's a 3-year starter at Alabama. Pretty elite zone guy. Man coverage is up there. Coverage, run defense grade. I think if this is the board, you're looking at one of these two quarterbacks, and I don't care who you like more. If you like Wiggins, that's fine. If you like McKinstry, that's fine too. I've taken Kool-Aid in one of the mocks before, so I'm going to try something different with this one. We're going to go with Nate Wiggins, cornerback. Man, Packers. We struggled last year, defending some past situations. So we're going to go Nate Wiggins here. He's going to slot in at CB3, and we'll figure that out later. But there you go. First pick is in the books. Round 2, pick 41. I had been really high on Tyler Nubin before we signed McKinney, but I think I'm off that for now. I'll tell you what, I kind of like Zach Frazier here, the West Virginia Mountaineers. He is a true center here. 3-year starter, really strong pass blocking grade, and he can do zone and gap grade pretty well too. So, just maybe moving on from Josh Myers, that could be something that happens next year. Maybe this is our starter week 1, and we put Myers at right guard. That's definitely an option here. You have a guy that could be versatile and move around. I think I'm open to that. Real quick, if I didn't take Nate Wiggins, the pick could have been Chop Robinson. He's one of my favorite edge rushers for us to take at 25. So I just want to, kind of pencil that in there. If it's not a corner, I think Chop Robinson or Graham Barton will be a first overall pick for us. But if this is our board, again, Zach Frazier's falling. A lot of receivers. Braden Fisk could be a nice piece for us. Had a fantastic 2022. Elite RAS score. He's a B gap guy. Primarily, he can line up at some other situations. I'm not opposed to this. His measurements are not ideal, but he has an NFL level football IQ and pass rush quickness to be a potential impact player as a 4-3 D tackle, even with some run defense deficiency. So there was someone in my comments in my last video that really, really, really wanted Braden Fisk, and I think that's a good pick here. I can maybe wait on offensive linemen. And even though this might not be the biggest need, it's a big body, and he comes in and he can help this defense right away and be kind of a rotational piece. So he's not a starter, but he could be in a year or two. He also gives Devontae Wyatt some competition. So I'll take Braden Fisk, the uber athletic Florida State defensive tackle here at 41. Pick 58, we're on the board. I really like Chris Jenkins too. We could have maybe waited for him at this point of the draft. I just wanted to see after I took Braden Fisk, Lassiter, Zach Frazier, Bo Nix, Adisa Isaac, Jalen Polk. So some of those guys off the board. But now we're up to pick here, and we got the corner, we got the defensive tackle. I think linebacker is a huge priority here. I do like Jaden Hicks, the safety out of Washington State. I like TJ Tampa, the corner. I like Kieran Emegdeje from the Yale, the left tackle here. I like Broswell, the edge rusher too. For me, this is a tough one because I really like Christian Haynes. He's a plug and play right guard starting player here out of UConn. Elite traits here from him. He could be a nice pick at this range, so he's the name to keep an eye on. I think edge rusher Marshawn Kneeland is a guy that could excite the Packers staff here. 89.7 grade last year. Small school, but he showed up big, and he had a good combine. But I think the pick here is Edgerrin Cooper. He's going to be our starting linebacker on the outside opposite Quay Walker. You got probably McDuffie in the middle, and just speed and some really good coverage grade here. 85.5 last year, pass rush grade, run defense grade. This is probably the move. So we just stocked all three levels of the defense if we take Edgerrin Cooper here. We got the cornerback with Nate Wiggins. We got the linebacker, Edgerrin Cooper, and we got Braden Fisk on the interior defensive line. So there you go. Packers off to a hot defensive start here, just loading that talent on that side of the ball. We're up to pick here at pick number 88. I think Callan Bullock is an interesting player. Renardo Green, if we want another cornerback here. I don't know. So I've seen Cooper Beebe go as high as like late second round. He would be like in PFF mock draft simulator. I don't know how accurate it is, but it feels like he is exactly what the Packers are looking for. He was a left guard the last 2 seasons. He can come in and play probably right guard for us. Elite pass blocking grade. Everything else is near elite. You can see the dots here, all elite. A 3-year starter out of Kansas State. I really like Beebe. It feels like a cheat code taking him here, but that's going to be my pick. If we didn't get Beebe here, you're looking at another guard, Mason McCormick. You can take a linebacker here again. Edge rusher, Braylon Trice out of Washington. There's a handful of players here that make sense. If we wanted to wait and grab Callan Bullock to be our free safety, that makes sense too. But I'm going to grab Cooper Beebe here at pick 88. Again, I know he might not be available this late, but maybe we take him at 58 or something, something like that. I just want people to be aware of that. He's probably a player the Packers have high on their board. At pick 91 here, not taking Rattler. Kyrie Jackson intrigues me. He had some really rough, freshman, sophomore seasons, but he had a really strong year last year. His run defense grade's pretty good too. So he's another cornerback that I'm kind of sleeping on late. Edge rusher here out of Troy. I don't know if we like that. I still keep coming back to Dadrian Taylor Demerson. He was one of the fastest safeties at the combine. He can play box deep, slot. He's just a versatile tool. And I think Jeff Hafley is going to really, really like this. So I'm going to go with the safety out of Texas Tech, Dadrian Taylor Demerson. To me, he's one of the top 3 or 4 safeties in this class. So again, just stocking the cupboard on the defensive side of the ball. We still need an edge rusher. And I'd like to look at some offensive linemen here. Trevor Keegan out of Michigan, a left guard here, a 3-year starter, didn't have his best grades in his freshman, sophomore seasons, but last year he showed up pretty well. Otherwise, I really like Bortolini out of Wisconsin. This is a guy that lit up the combine, and he can literally play any spot on the interior. So if he was our center for us, that's fine. If he can be a backup left guard, right guard, that's fine too. I think adding a player like him makes a lot of sense. I do like Taj Washington, the receiver. I like Jordan McGee, the linebacker here. I really like Mohamed Kamara. I don't think he's going to fall this late, but he's a sleeper edge rusher. This is probably going to be my pick here, an outside edge rusher. But, man, 14 sacks last year. He's a small school, but we've seen players come out of Colorado State and be pretty productive. So I'm going to go with the edge rusher here. He'll rotate in and maybe be, our 3rd or 4th best pass rusher this year. It could be our 2nd or 3rd best next year. So we'll go Mo Kamara, edge rusher here. And we're moving now into the 5th round. We'll see what we can pull up here. We got Jaheim Bell, the tight end, is exciting out of Florida. Trevin Wallace, the Kentucky linebacker, maybe just a depth piece here. Braden McGregor, edge rusher out of Michigan. Not opposed to grabbing more bodies on that side. Walter Roos out of Oklahoma, the left tackle here. I don't hate it. He's a guy that can, again, I'm in the camp where I don't mind Rasheed Walker. I think he's fine. I don't think he's a liability at left tackle. If we wanted to grab someone that compete with him, I think this is a good time to pull that trigger here. We can get a center here, Bo Limmer, 3-year starter out of Arkansas. And hey, he's played center, right guard, and had some pretty good grades doing it. Actually, his best grades were when he played right guard here. So the Arkansas Razorback definitely intrigues me. And Cody Schrader, Callan King. I didn't grab a running back yet. I do want to grab one, but I think at this point of the draft, I think it's a tackle. It's maybe the center. I'm going to go Bo Limmer here, the Arkansas center. Again, he can compete for backup center and backup right guard duties. He's just a valuable piece to the Packers' depth at offensive line. And moving into the 6th round now, Rasheen Ali and Dylan Lobby. I think it's time to pull a running back. Let me show you guys Dylan Lobby here. I know a small school sample from New Hampshire, but man, dude can ball, okay? 68 receptions last year, 708 receiving yards, 9 total touchdowns. He can run the ball too. He ran for 1,200 yards in 2022, 49 receptions in that season as well. I think this is a guy that could come in and be our third down back and offer some, exciting packages and plays for him. Maybe we line him up out wide and do some kind of crazy things with him. Matt LaFleur can have fun cooking for a guy like Dylan Lobby. So he intrigues me a lot. The other running back that I had my eye on was Tyrone Tracy out of Purdue, but he went a little earlier. And guess what? I don't hate Rasheen Ali either. A running back this late, a really strong gap runner, okay zone runner. But this is a guy that ran for 1,100 yards last year, 1,389 yards as a freshman. Interesting. Small school running backs can come in and carve out a niche in the Packer offense here. I'm going to go with Dylan Lobby, though, just a pass catching specialist. He offers something that Josh Jacobs and A.J. Dillon don't. He's a smaller frame. He can do a little bit more elusive things with the ball. So we'll go there. Now we're back up to pick Carson Steele, A.J. Barner. I don't know much about Briggs here from Cincinnati. Looks like he can play a lot of positions. He could be a piece that intrigues the Packers. We could look at the other safety from Texas Tech here. He didn't have a great year last year, but he is a 2-year starter at Texas Tech. I think we're okay at safety, though. But here we go. This is the guy that I actually thought we missed him. I thought he's a round 4 guy, but this is a cornerback from Boston College that Jeff Hafley is going to be very familiar with. He was their best cornerback last year, Elijah Jones. He can line up all over the place. He's primarily an outside guy, but he can play slot. Had the best season of his career last year. Gave up 1 touchdown, but he had 5 picks. The passer rating, 18.1. Just a guy that can kind of come in and compete. He can play special teams. I think this is a very familiar name here that Packer fans should remember because, on day 3 of the draft, Elijah Jones gets called. You'll remember this and say, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So we'll grab another cornerback here. And I have not grabbed a left tackle yet, correct? I probably need to do so. I'm open to, we have 2 picks left here. I mean, at this point of the draft, Donovan Jennings here, a left tackle prospect here, really good pass block grade, needs to learn how to run block better. I think just grabbing prospects that, we want to maybe play around with and see what they can do. Delmar Glaze here out of Maryland needs to be better as a run blocker, but he's got pretty good pass blocking grades. We'll go with one of these guys here that can play left tackle for us. So whether it's Glaze or Jennings, I don't care. I'm going to go with the UCF guy here. He's got a little bit higher rank in ADP. And again, we're just getting someone that can come in and compete and be left tackle backup. And then our final pick here, round 7, Nathaniel Watson, Mississippi State linebacker, a 3-year starter here. Looks pretty solid on his grades. I'm not opposed to just grabbing someone like that. Not grabbing a kicker. We can grab Layden Robinson, guard out of Texas A&M, but I think I'm fine with just grabbing that final piece here. I did want to grab some Michigan offensive linemen. We kind of missed those guys, but we'll grab a 4th linebacker for the Packers here, Nathaniel Watson out of Mississippi State. And there you go. That is the final Packers mock draft for 2024 for me. I think we did okay. Let's zoom in here and go over the draft. We took Nate Wiggins at 1. I mentioned Chop Robinson, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Graham Barton. Those are some of the names that I'm liking as our first pick. Braden Fisk at round 2, pick 41. That's a tough spot for me. I think the Packers could either move up or down from that spot to get a player. I like Edgerrin Cooper here, linebacker at 58, even though they gave us a C on it. Cooper Beebe, they gave us a B. That was round 3, pick 88. Dadrian Taylor Demerson, the safety, pick 91. Mo Kamara, C minus, round 4, pick 126. Bo Limmer, the potential future center for the Packers, Dylan Lobby, Elijah Jones, Donovan Jennings, and Nathaniel Watson. They gave me a B minus on this draft, but I'm actually excited about this one. We ended up getting 3 offensive linemen. We ended up getting 2 corners, a safety. There's a lot to like here. 2 linebackers. We loaded the defensive side of the ball. And we also, again, protecting Aaron Rodgers, getting him 3, or oh my God, protecting Jordan Love, getting him 3 offensive linemen and a running back that can catch the ball out of the backfield, I think is kind of fun. So there you go. I'm exhausted. We did a lot of these. And you know what? If this isn't correct, it's fine. I think the more important idea here is just having fun and identifying players that the Packers might be interested in certain positions. So that's all we're trying to do. I want to thank you guys. If you've watched all my mock drafts, let me know in the comments and let me know which one you thought was best, or if you're liking some of the picks that I made. Let me know what you guys think. I want to know who you guys want in the first round, second round, and third round, because we got 5 top 100 picks. It's a good year to be a Packer fan. So thank you guys for your time. Good luck. And hey, if you guys like fantasy football, go ahead and subscribe, like the video, all that good stuff. We'll see you next time. Peace.